Meanwhile, the CEO of Amazon, Jeff Bezos, speaking out in support of President Biden's corporate tax rate increase and spending plan. Bezos says his company looks forward to seeing the U.S. government's progress on the plan, supporting the $2.3 trillion in massive spending and the increase in tax rates. Joining me right now is former White House Council of Economic Advisors chairman and the Hoover Institution and Lindsay Group distinguished visiting fellow, Kevin Hassett. Also joining us all morning long this morning, Lee Carter and Patrice Lee Onwuka. Great to see everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Kevin, it's great to have you. Thank you for joining us. I want to get your take on what we're seeing out of the administration on economic policy.
Right. Well, you know, the infrastructure bill, we have to start calling it something else. I think that the first thing it is the Green New Deal, if you go look at all the subsidies that are being thrown at alternative energies. But the second thing it is the biggest tax hike, corporate tax hike in history. And I think that one of the things that people are confused about that we're going to set straight right now, and I know you understand this already, Maria, is that, you know, when President Trump came to office, we had the highest corporate tax in the world. Wages hadn't grown for about a decade because everybody was locating their plants overseas. We cut the rate to 21%. But the corporate side of the bill only cost about $300 billion because at the same time we did all this base broadening to make it so that you could cut the rate without losing a lot of revenue. What Biden's doing is he's taking the rate back to 28%. So it seems like he's going halfway to where we were, but it's way worse than that because he's keeping the base broadening. And so they're raising maybe about $2 trillion over 10 years, which if you think about it means that the Biden tax plan is to take the corporate tax code and make it much, much bigger and more onerous than it was when President Obama left office. It's like a $1.7 trillion tax hike relative to the Obama tax code. It's just unthinkable that that's going to happen. But if they do it, if they can really ram that through, what's going to happen is that companies are going to flee the United States basically like a stampede.
This is exactly what I've been saying recently, Kevin, and I've got to tell you, yesterday I spoke with Mark Zandi, who said that there was no benefit from the tax cuts of 2017. I was awestruck. There's an op-ed in the Journal this morning, which I also enjoyed very much. That's completely and utterly indefensible. You know, bring Zandi on the show and let me show him some charts and see how he responds to it. That's a reprehensible statement. It's just absolutely false. There's so many things that we could point to that skyrocketed above expectation, above his expectation. You know, he put out an estimate of what the Trump tax cuts would do to the economy, and he was 100% dead wrong. Why anyone still listens to Moody, I have no idea. Well, look, it's all in today's Journal op-ed, and the title is Biden Aims at Profit, Hits Workers. It highlights how the 2017 tax cuts helped the economy. And the editorial board writes this: they enhanced after-tax profits, fueled a rise in economic growth, caused wages to spike even at the end of the longest and weakest recovery of the post-war era, all that helping the working people of America. And the Journal writes, the big difference here is a little bit of extra growth created was fully revealed in the census figures when income growth in 2019 was the most broad-based and best ever recorded in a single year, and the poverty rate fell the most in a half a century. And that's really an important point. Nonetheless, I tried to explain all of this yesterday to Moody's Analytics chief economist, Mark Zandi. He argued a different position. Here's what he said, Kevin, watch.
Go back to the tax cuts that were implemented back in 2018. There's no evidence, or at least no discernible evidence, no discernible impact on business investment, productivity, or GDP growth. It's just not in the data.
That's just a lie.
I pushed back and said it absolutely is in the data, Kevin.
First, he called it the 2018. He called it the 2018 tax cut, so he even got the year wrong. You know, so that should be a clue that he doesn't know what he's talking about. But it's just an absolute lie. If you look at the 2017 CBO forecast from the summer before the tax cuts, and then look at what happened to the economy after that, everything skyrocketed. Capital spending went up a heck of a lot, and it stayed at a much higher level. Capital stock growth was up, and that's why we had wage growth. Do you remember you and I talked when I was in the White House about $4,000 over 3 to 5 years in extra income for the average family? In the 2 years after the tax cuts were passed, remembering after a decade of stagnant growth because they listened to people like Zandi, there was $4,900 in income growth for the average family. And so the tax cuts worked exactly the way we said they would. And if it hadn't been for the pandemic,
pandemic, that momentum would have carried into 2020 as well. But the point is, they're not taking us back, halfway to where they were under President Obama. They're taking us to the highest corporate tax on earth, much, much higher than it was when President Trump took office. So imagine if Hillary Clinton had won and the first thing she did was have a big corporate tax hike on top of the highest corporate tax on earth. I think that even left-wing Democrats would oppose that. But that's what they're pushing right now. And the fact that Zandy is out there saying that you can go to the highest corporate tax on earth, you can have a $1.7 trillion hike over what Obama gave us, and that's not going to affect the economy. I mean, it's just goofball city. I can't believe that he would go on TV and say that. I'm really, really frustrated.
And I urge our viewers to read this op-ed today because it goes through it all. The real median household income hit the highest level ever for African-American, Hispanic, and Asian-American workers and retirees. The 2019 poverty rate was the lowest in more than 50 years for children at 14.4%, the lowest for individuals at 10.5%, for families at 8.5%, and for households headed by unmarried women at 22.2%. Kevin, just walk us through what the impact will be of these higher taxes overturning the Trump tax cuts, because we're going to hear more about tax increases. There's no way you're going to get the revenue that they need to pay for this new Green Deal that they're calling infrastructure by just raising the corporate rate. So we're going to hear more about tax increases on families making $400,000 collectively. That's $200,000 per individual in that family. What's the impact in 2021 and 2022 in your view?
Right. What's going to happen is that U.S. businesses are going to flee like nothing you've ever seen abroad. And the way that they do it is they basically just merge with a foreign company and then declare that their headquarters is where that company is domiciled. And if they do that, then they're basically going to be taxed like the people from that country. And under the Biden plan, there's no country. You can spin the globe and whack it with a pin, and that country's going to have a much lower corporate tax than we do. And so if you merge with a foreign company, then you're going to cut the value or the tax payment a lot and increase the value of your firm a lot. And firms are going to do that absolutely like crazy as soon as this tax bill is passed. And so there aren't going to be any jobs left in the U.S. We're going to have another decade of no wage growth, just like we had with Obama. But it's going to be worse because it's a big tax hike relative to what Obama left us.
Unbelievable. And that's exactly what happened under Obama. There was a string of acquisitions from American companies acquiring Irish companies because the corporate rate in Ireland was 9%. Well, we were all the way up there at 35%. I've discussed this and written about this many times. Kevin, it's great to have you. Please come back soon. We need more time to get further into these issues.
Thanks.
This will be a topic we will be talking about often. Kevin, thank you so much. We'll see you soon.